Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a video for the Aries personality for Monday the 15th of April, so doing a weekly reading commencing from Monday the 15th. So I've already pulled the cards. I've used the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck, and we're going to start with a tarot reading and then we're going to go into an oracle reading as well. So the first few cards are the general energies of what's going to come up for the week and just sort of looking at what's coming up there. Then we're going to look at potential challenges and then guidance and the best parts as well. So it's going to be a mixture of things. So without further ado, I will start with the general themes. So I'll show you the cards first. So first of all, we've got Four of Wands completion. Having a look at that, seeing what comes through intuitively to you. Then we've got, move that there, the Knight of Wands. Again, just seeing what comes through to you. And then we've got Five of Cups, disappointment. Okay. So let's start with these. So first of all, I'm going to start with this card. We've got the Four of Wands completion. So first thing that comes out to me straight away is that we've got the Venus in Aries card. So that's what this card represents. And Venus currently is in Aries. So there might be something here about this transit being particularly relevant to you, something that's important for you. And Venus in Aries is very like, Venus rules love, beauty and pleasure. Aries rules like courage and going after it. So someone with Venus in Aries might be someone who isn't afraid to like ask someone out quickly or something. It's like, I want to go out with you, like let's go. Like it's got that kind of energy to it, so can be quite fast acting in love. But the other meaning of this card is also we've got completion here. So fours in tarot are often some kind of rest point, like some kind of it's not the end of the journey, because the end of the journey is actually the 9 or the 10, but you've got like a point where things have sort of started to accumulate and now there's some need for sort of like celebration. I always think this card to me feels very like you've completed something and it needs some recognition, some self-love, because it's Venus in Aries of the self-love, like I did a thing, yeah, well done, like good for me. Is very much what this card is giving me. So for some of you this could manifest as like, yeah, a need to sort of celebrate something, and in traditional tarot it is very much that card. It's two people, like it looks like they're getting married, so for some of you it could be an actual celebration like that, or it could just be a celebration of some kind of accomplishment. So that's the first card. There is more to come out from that, I'm sure of that. Then we've got the Knight of Wands. So to me, this is like someone who's like really going forth, right? They're really just like, yeah, let's go. Like, I'm ready to make stuff happen. Like that could be very much the feeling that you have next week. I'm getting a lot of like, I mean, again, hardly a surprise really, but getting a lot of fire energy in this particular reading. And yeah, this sort of desire to go forward. So maybe you felt a little bit stuck or something and now you're really driven, and that could be an energy coming through this week. However, we do have the Five of Cups, disappointment. So in light of what the other cards are saying, this card is Mars in Scorpio. I don't know if you can see that. That's the Scorpio glyph there. That's the Mars glyph there. This card to me feels like, if you look at the actual cards, there's no water, right? There's no water flowing through the cups. There's the red sky in the background. There's the sort of dark seas. Like this feels like Scorpio. This feels like Mars. And with so much fire energy, you could be really feeling like, it feels like this week you could be feeling like, I just want to go and I just want to go and like, I'm ready. And then there's like setbacks and delays, and that could result in feelings of disappointment, because you've got here the Knight of Wands, which is like, yeah, like I want it. I want to go. But you might feel a little frustrated, or you might feel a little bit like, why isn't why can't I just move on that? Like there feels like a sort of tension here around wanting to move, but like, feeling disappointed. And maybe like for some of you, I don't think this will be for everybody, but like feeling disappointed in others because you're sort of like ready, but then they're like not. And, you know, there's some kind of tension there I'm really feeling with this particular card. Now, the good news is that this is temporary. So like 5 of Cups, I often feel like is, the 5 of Cups, fives, like stuff like fives in tarot are like a point of change. So you've come out of the comfortable 4, which is very like a rest point, some kind of sense of something has happened and now you can rest. And then 5 is like, okay, new chapter, like some kind of obstacle coming in. But then the 6 is like where you have like success after labor. So yes, it might feel quite challenging right now and you might feel like I really want to keep going, like, but there's something here maybe about being okay with where you are at and not having to like forge forward quite so hard. Because then in the next card we've got, so the question I asked the cards next was, what are the potential challenges? Excuse me. Okay. And we've got here 7 of Discs, failure. So again, with the context of what we've been talking about here, it might feel like things are not moving. Like, so the challenge is like, I'm ready, but there's all of this restriction because it's a Saturn card. Like you can see at the top there, Saturn. And Saturn rules restriction. And with it being in Taurus, doesn't particularly like thrive in Taurus. So Saturn in Taurus could be quite stubborn energy, like Taurus being quite stubborn, Saturn being restrictive. It's like things aren't moving, and it can feel a little bit stuck. But it doesn't feel like to me that this is going to last very long. That's the good news. It's just like, this is just for the week. It feels like things are going to shift again, because what's really coming to mind actually is that we're still in Mercury retrograde until the 25th of April. So yes, things are going to be a little bit slower and more delayed because that's what Mercury retrograde does. And then once April is out of the way, like not even all of April, just like towards the end of April, things are going to feel lighter and a bit easier and start moving again. So it's going to feel like things are stuck and that maybe you're like a bit meh, potentially. But like it's only temporary. Okay, so coming on to the next card. So the question I asked now was, what is the best part? And here we've got the Star. So again, having a look at that, seeing what comes through intuitively to you. Now, I think this is a lovely card. The Star to me always represents hope and optimism. So even though there might be some challenges around feeling disappointment, feeling like things aren't moving, there is going to be a sense of optimism as well. Also, what's really coming out to me with this card, the ruler of this card is Aquarius. If you see the bottom there, there's the Aquarius glyph. And Aquarius is an air sign, and it's about like combining the logic of the mind, which is Aries, and also water, which is more like intuitive. So it's like, I often feel like this card is about asking us to not just lead with the heart, but also to lead with the head, and having these combined together so that we can then have hope and optimism. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So there is going to be a sense of like, I feel like the bigger picture, like not getting too caught up in the minutiae, but just being like, it is going to get easier. So there's going to be that sense coming through as well. And then finally, the last question I asked the cards was, what is the guidance for the week ahead? And we've got here 8 of Wands, swiftness. So with it being a guidance question, I feel like the guidance is saying keep going. Like, don't burn yourself out. Because if you see, like, again, this card to me always feels a bit frantic. But It's a Mercury in Sagittarius card, and Sagittarius is also a very optimistic sign. So it's ruled by Jupiter, which is optimism and like bigness. So there is something here, like combined with the star, it feels kind of like remain optimistic, remain hopeful, keep going. Don't allow this week to derail you too much. Like, don't get kind of caught. It's only temporary. Don't worry about it. Like, it really feels very much like that. Okay. Is there anything else here? No, maybe that's okay actually. So let's come on to the next part. So we're gonna pull some oracle cards now. I'm going to use the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Show you the little box here. It's the most gorgeous box. So cute. Let me show you. There is. And it like comes off like that. So cute. Anyway, I just thought the colours of it just so beautiful. I love this deck. Although I haven't used it for a while, so we shall see. Okay, so. Ooh, they're jumpy. Guidance for Aries personality. 15th April, the week commencing, please. What do I want you to know? Oh, there we go. That one flew out my hand. Take that. Ah, interesting. Okay. One more card. Oh. Ah, lovely. Okay. So, this is interesting. The first card we got is Earth Pulsing. Pulse of the Mother, slow down, time in nature. So having a look at that. Oh, what a gorgeous card. Beautiful. Yeah, so I do feel like that really corresponds with this, right? Like the 4 is about the rest stage. Like it's okay to sort of just slow down, enjoy the fruits of your labour. You have worked hard. And with all of this, like, Knight of Wands energy, like, and, you know, I was talking about in this card as well, like, there's no water. It's like we need to bring more water back. Like, this has been coming up in quite a lot of readings, actually. This need for balancing all of this fire with water. So with this image here of, like, the water sort of coming down and, like, seeping in, I feel like it's very much like you might feel like you want to go, but with the Mercury retrograde, it's like we need to slow down. We need to go back to nature. We need to get in the water. We need to immerse ourselves in water and be around water, like things to just cool things off a little bit, because it does feel like there is this real desire to go, but the astrological weather isn't super supportive of that right now. Having said that, on Friday, I think it's Friday or Saturday, we're going to move into Taurus, so we are going to have a bit of a shift. Things are going to change. It's not going to be quite as fiery anymore, so that will be interesting. And Taurus knows how to slow down. Taurus knows slowness, so I think that'll be a very much welcomed break, especially if you feel like you've been sort of running like around a lot. And then we've got here, you've got the Love. Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries. So there might be something here about, yeah, like to me it really feels like the boundaries word is coming out the most. There's a need for some boundaries here to like take time out to sort of like protect yourself. It feels like, again, like going out into nature is a good way of sort of like just kind of switching off a little bit. And I think there's something, if for some of you, there has been a lack of boundaries, then there's really going to be a need for you to bring those in. There's somebody that you haven't quite disconnected from yet. Like, this isn't for everybody, but for some of you watching this, there's someone who's kind of attached onto you, and it's like you need to sort of step forth and be like, no, like I need the space. I need you to kind of give me some breathing room. It feels like that feels like a very specific message for somebody, because it's not super heavily coming up in the cards, but this is for somebody. Okay, I think that is everything for Aries. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like it, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you want to get more of this kind of content. Also, if you have any questions or anything that you want me to kind of go into more detail about in terms of future content, I'd love to hear that in the comments too. So please feel free to share that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.